wow, we have quite a few people. I haven't been looking at it. Oh man, hi Nikki. Let's see who else is Hionils? Rate? Sorry, I'm sometimes terrible with pronouncing names, which is strange considering I'm Indian and I have a lot more letters that I can use at my disposal. Hi Sailor, welcome. Oh man. Mm. But yeah, so like what I've been basically doing. Hi Tara. Hi. Wow, we have quite a few people today. Nice. I was not expecting this, honestly speaking. But yeah, what I've been doing the last two, like I was saying, like every time I come to India, it's been like pretty much hitting it off from the very beginning and being so busy. So yesterday was all about getting my attire, like my various attires for the wedding. So I went there. It's not even getting at the attire. It's just literally I went there. I'm glad I was able to go there yesterday because I was able to resize an older attire that I never got to wear. I got it for when I went last year for my brother's wedding. And oh, thank you so much for the subscription. Oh, thank you. Really appreciate it. Oh man, y'all are awesome. Thank you. But like yeah, like I was saying, so I went there to get my older attire altered, and and then what I also was able to do was I brought my Gilmore's outfit, my wedding attire that the red one that I use for Gilmore because it has seen some wear and tear. Like a lot of the buttons are almost falling off, the clasps are falling off. There's like threads here and there that are disengaging. So I was like, I need to take this back to the people who made it to help repatch things up. And luckily they were like, yeah, totally, we can fix all of this. So I'm like, yes, 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 yes. So that's getting touched up again, which I'm really really happy about. So that was the major thing yesterday. What else did I do? Yeah, that was the big thing. Just doing that. We went to the mall, like obviously making sure we maintain social distancing. Um, am I planning to get new attack? I'm gonna mum's the word on that. Mum's the word. There's plans. There are plans. Unless you're a patron, I'm gonna be talking about it to my patrons on Discord, all about it. But let's just say today that was what happened today. That was one of the big things that happened today is plans for that. Outside of that, though, I like that cheeky smile. um, mm, I'm a patron, so well, you hear all about it later. I mean, it's just an initial talks about some things, but I'm excited. We'll see how it goes. As far as everything else, I got some more custom made the kurtas, the sherwanis. Uh, Luckily, we have a friend who does fashion design and who has his own workshop and his own like store that does custom suits, custom kurtas, and traditional attire. So I was able to go to him and like he literally from scratch designed what we wanted, and turns out it's actually cheaper than going to a regular store, which is surprising. But like it's they do the fitting and everything, so that was really really nice. And yeah, luckily for us, like we were able to get some custom designs. So literally, I'm hoping I can get a picture from my wife with the sketch of the design, which will also be on Patreon. Like I said, I think I mentioned this at the very beginning. Pretty much this entire trip, I'll talk about it to everybody, but any of the specifics, any of the pictures, that's going to be on the Discord. So if you want to be a part of that, just sorry. I know I'm being really what is it, sleazy about it. I apologize, but you gotta make a living somehow, and I'm selling my culture for it. Hey, I'm kidding. But oh, I don't have the but the thing is, it's mostly it's a Patreon thing. Have I mentioned how glad I am that I'm a patron? December was definitely the time to get a Patreon. Oh man. Um, but no promos. Oh, thank you. Thanks for understanding. But yes, the design is pretty awesome. Like it's got a custom. So essentially, it's got on the cuffs in my language in Telugu. It's got my wife's name and my name on it, and then it's got our initial. It's like a little logo that they created using my wife's initial and my initial, like the first name, first letter from each of our names, and they create a little logo style thing that goes right over the breast pocket. And it's gorgeous. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for it. I think that out of all of them, that's the one I'm like super excited for it. Outside of the redacted, but yeah, I think it's gonna be gorgeous, and the attire, the color schemes is gonna be matching with my wife's. So what the dress that she's gonna be wearing, it's gonna be color coordinated with hers. So we're gonna look bomb. So yeah, that was basically what happened. Oh, and then we started also giving out the wedding invitations today while maintaining social distancing. So that was interesting, like the handoff of all of that. And the thing is, like, because of the virus situation, obviously the guest list is going to be much smaller. So luckily, that means that all the people that we do want at the wedding, we get to be a bit more personal about it instead of just calling over the phone. But even that, we literally went to the people's homes, but like stayed outside, put it on their wall, and and there's a way to do it, like the traditional way to invite someone. You literally like talk about we, the Upadhyaya family, invite you, so and so family, to our son so and so's wedding. He will be marrying so and so, who is part of this family, and they will be in attendance. And we cordially invite you to come into have this celebration. The wedding is going to take place on this so and so date at this auspicious hour at this auspicious time. And then we got all the other different ceremonies will be taking place on this time and that time, and so on and so forth. So all of that happens. So like having to go from how like all the different. I think we went to 10 different people, and that took us 4 hours. And particularly that's actually like super fast, all considering the traffic around here. Because ooh boy, do we have traffic in India. So getting through all of that was a thing. And then the final thing I think we did was get myself a new SIM card, because that's probably also the reason why you guys probably haven't been hearing from me as often, is because I literally I can only access the internet on my phone when I'm at home, or whenever there's a Wi-Fi section that I can connect to. So that's the reason why, like, so when I go out, like most of the daytime, I can't talk to people unless I'm back home. So considering this is all a business now, I should probably stay a little bit more connected. Hello there, KPN chat. Happy Sunday. Hey, thank you for joining us, Kelly. Welcome. We're just chatting a little bit about our little time so far here in India, what I've been up to, and what's going to be happening soon. So like tomorrow, this week, it's going to be, my wife says there's a couple things that we still need to take care of, small things here and there, but problem is even small things take time just because of traffic and having to travel. Like some of those things like are just so far away, and then on top of that you have traffic, so even trying to get something done like that's super small, like getting something from the store, could take like 30-40 minutes when it's supposed to in the US would take maybe 15, just because of all of those various things coming together. But hey, certain things have to be taken care of. I need to drop my parents at the airport because they need to go to on their, every time they come to India, they have to do this religious pilgrimage to one of the most famous temples in India called Tirupati. It's a temple. It's very, very famous. It's considered the most richest temple in the world because of the number of people that come there and donate. And there's actually a very fun story behind why that is. So essentially, you guys, I've discussed this before, and I told you all about Lord Vishnu, one of the three major gods, and how he had come down to Earth 9 times so far, with the total of 10 times that he needs to. And each time he's come down is because of various reasons. He came down as one of his avatars, which the word avataram, that's where your word avatar comes from. That's the root. And even avatar, you guys pronounce it as avatar, but it's pronounced avatar. Means, oh, thank you, Buji. I love you. Oh my god, you want to show yourself off? You look so gorgeous. Just 1 second, just show. No. Okay, never mind. You're tired. I totally understand. You look beautiful though. But so anyways, he comes down nine times, right? Well, one of the times he came down, he didn't come down as an avatar. He came down as himself for various reasons. And what happens is at the end, he wants to remarry his wife on Earth to appease his mother from a previous avatar, and they're all saying hi. By the way, they're just saying hi. I gotta get going to work. Enjoy your chill. Thank you so much. Um, but yeah, so he came down and he wanted to remarry his wife because he had promised his mother from a previous avatar, previous generation, that because she missed his wedding then, so he promised him that in your next lifetime, I'll marry my wife in front of you, and you'll be the one that's going to be there for the whole thing. And so he does it, but the problem is he doesn't have money to pay for it. So what then he does is he meets the local, I think basically the local banker slash king that he becomes friends with, and he goes, hey, can you loan me some money to pay for this? And the guy's like, sure, no problem, I'll do it. But I have to charge you interest for it, right? So Vishnu was like, sure, I'll do it. And this form of him was named Venkatesh. And so Venkatesh said, yeah, that's fine. I'll pay for the, interest. My followers will help me pay for it. Well, the wedding happens, everything goes great, and then he goes back to heaven, but he doesn't pay the cost of the wedding off, and so the interest kept building, and that's why now the temple, all the followers come there and they donate there, because essentially we're paying his interest that he never paid off. And so even though it's considered the richest temple in the world, they're like, well, this is all for him. It's to pay off his debts that he never completed. So that's how it happened. And so that's the fun story behind that temple. But it's so rich that the central dome that's there is covered in gold plates, like gold plating. Yeah, so that's, it's a fun story on why that temple, what it is. And a little more fun fact about how he's portrayed. So Vishnu, whenever you see Vishnu normally, the way he's usually portrayed is either with, all of his hands like depicted in the bag, each carrying a specific weapon or item that represents certain virtues or certain powers of his, right? Or him sleeping on his bed surrounded by it's a snake bed created by his servant parent and Nagraj ka పేరు మర్చిపోయా. I forget his name, but essentially it's a bed. The snake had coiled itself into a bed, and then it's a cobra, like it's a several-headed cobra, like I think 1,000-headed cobra, kind of like a hydra essentially, and it opens up its hood and acts as an umbrella for him, right? So that's his bed that he sleeps on with his wife at his feet, massaging his feet. So him relaxing with his wife, Lakshmi Devi, who is the goddess of wealth. And so that's usually how he's normally depicted. But as this form, as Venkatesh, the way he's depicted is essentially he's standing tall with his hand out like this, and then his other hand on his waist. And the way not his waist, it's pointed downward like this at his waist. Seshanaga. Thank you, Seshanaga. You're awesome. Thank you, Ender. But so that's his servant, the snake servant's name. But so he's pointing like this, right? And the reason he's pointing there, essentially what he's saying is, no, I think it's like this, and then like on his hip, like it's pointing like this, and then one hand on his hip, one hand pointing downwards. And essentially what it means is, pray at my feet, and I will make sure that your troubles will never go higher than your waist. Essentially, it's similar to like, say if you went into a river trying to cross it. It's easy to cross as long as it's below your waist, right? You can manage that. But if it's beyond that, it becomes difficult. So what it means is essentially the same thing. He's saying, I can't take away all your troubles because that's part of life. You're never gonna not have troubles in your life. But what I can do is minimize it to something that's manageable, something that you can get through. And it because having certain troubles, certain obstacles builds character, builds who you are as a person. I can't get rid of that. I'm not going to get rid of all of that because you're not going to grow as a person. But what I can do is make it manageable so that you're never feeling you never feel like you're drowning in it. So that's how that he's depicted that way, and there's a reason why he's depicted that way, is because that's the meaning behind it. So yeah, all of that is so interesting when you learn those things as to why it's shown that way, why certain things are certain ways. And this is the reason why I love talking to my dad, because he's such a fount of knowledge about all of these. Like, I'm just like, I didn't know that. That's interesting. So that's the reason why I love chatting with him and coming to India and seeing all of that all over again. So anyways, the reason I even mentioned all this is because they're leaving for that tomorrow, so I'm going to be dropping them off at the airport to go to that temple. So that's that, and pretty much the rest of the week is just me. I think just putting together all of those things until the 10th of December, which then I will have my one-shot stream with the Void crew. So I'm excited for that. I'm going to be up early in the morning once again for that. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But I'm excited because that means that's the day I'll be able to play with all my friends. And it's going to be awesome. So that's going to be December 10th, I believe, starting at 5 p.m. I believe it's 5 p.m. I need to double check. And it's going to be a 3-hour game where I think initially starts as a one-on-one between Dot, who's our DM, and one of our players in what 123, Paul, who plays Soul, the character, and he's going to have this 1.5 hours where it's going to be him, and then we join in on the second half as a crew, and it's going to be pretty much a Prison Break episode. So that's going to be a lot of fun planning that out. And then on Saturday, was it going to be? Yeah, it's still going to be Saturday for you guys. So on the 12th, for breakfast time at 8 a.m., I'm going to be a part of another stream. They haven't given me details yet about this, but I mentioned it before. They are so good, man. I can't even begin to tell you. Like, I don't know how I got so lucky to get Ender as my mod. Like, I don't know how it happened, honestly, that they happened to be on my channel. But seriously, they've been amazing. Like, they're a one-man army, honestly speaking. Like, I've seen other streams where they had like 3-4 moderators who are great, and I'm not denying that. But like, Ender has been able to do and pull off what 3 people have had to pull off, and I can't. I want to pay you, Ender. Tell me how I can pay you, please. You told me like it doesn't happen any other way. Like, make yourself a Patreon so we can support you, because you deserve it. Honestly speaking, I need to somehow pay you for your efforts, because part of the tier for the Patreon was so I can get enough money to pay for a mod, which we haven't reached yet. I don't think. Have we reached? No, I think we've reached that. We have reached the tier to pay for a mod, but you haven't told me how I can pay for you yet. So we'll figure it out. Please tell me how. And also, y'all, if you can support Ender in any way possible, they deserve that support, because I don't think this channel would be half of what it is without them. So, with that being said, though, support your mods. Outside of that, yeah, so that's going to be the big thing. And then I was mentioning on Saturday, on the 12th, I'm going to be with another channel. I'm blanking the name right now. They haven't given me the details yet, but and I don't think they did a public post yet about it. Essentially, the entire concept that they're trying to do is going to be a all-weekend stream of various creators. They're all going to be on there. It's a holiday stream because to essentially create an environment that is supposed to feel like a family. It's supposed to give you that familiar feeling with people that care for you, that want to interact with you, especially considering this coronavirus situation. A lot of people can't go home or meet with their family members or their loved ones, and they can't do a lot of the activities that normally they would be able to with their family, like have those interactions. So the entire purpose of these streams are to kind of give you that environment and give you that conversation with someone else who cares, right? And do activities that you typically would do during those, during this holiday season. So for example, there's going to be cooking shows, there's going to be game related shows, just chatting, music, all sorts of fun things. And Suma and I, my wife and I, are going to be part of a cooking stream or cooking section. Essentially, it's going to be, I think, 8 a.m. to 11, or was it 9 a.m. to 12 a.m. or 12 p.m. I mean, Pacific time. I need to double check and make sure. I'm sure I'll have a proper post that I can retweet and reshare, just to be sure. But essentially, it's going to be 3 hours of us cooking and chatting and just kind of giving you guys that moment, hopefully, of just having someone to talk to, like a friend or family member that you're just chilling with while you watch them cook you some food. And so that's and we already have the menu planned out, so that's gonna be a lot of fun, I think. And they're going to be there's going to have one for, so we're breakfast scheduled for the 12th, and they're also going to have actually, I think, is it also this weekend? I know I'm the 12th, but I feel like I remember them saying that it's already happening this weekend. Shoot, I totally didn't give me any proper notifications to send out. At least I didn't see any, but I believe it's already happening this weekend. Shit. But definitely next weekend it's going to be there, and I'm going to be a part of it. So if you missed it this weekend, I'll tweet it out and do a better job promoting it next. I'm sorry, guys, if you're watching. But yeah, I also think it's super special, and that's the reason why I was really drawn to wanting to be a part of it. And I'm so glad that they asked me, and honored that they asked me, because imposter syndrome never goes away. So you never feel like you're deserving of anything until someone tells you, and then even then you don't feel like you're deserving of anything, and you're just going, what the hell, how did I even get here, kind of situation. So yeah, there you go. That's my headspace most of the time. So yeah, that's basically, I think, the big things that are happening this week. So I'm glad that I'm able to resolve a lot of my technical stuff right now, so that way I'm not going to make a fool of myself come actual game time. Yeah, it's gonna be a packed week for sure, I think. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how everything's going down. Hopefully, it'll go smooth. How about y'all? How are y'all doing? Are you guys having fun? How's your weekend treating you? I guess for most of you back in the U.S., back in stateside, it's still Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon-ish. I know my brothers on this side of the world, we're about the same time zones, right? We're in the evenings now, late evenings or so. So that's exciting. Hmm. Oh shit! It's already like 10:30 for me. Yep. Oh, it's almost 10:30. It's like past 10. 10:09. So. Hmm. So I'm on your time zone now. Although I don't know if I should stick to my schedule that I had back home. It's nearly 5 p.m. there. Yeah, so I think it's about, wow, is a 5 hour difference between us, Ender? Yeah, that's that didn't make a lot of difference now, did it? Because I think 3 hours difference. 3 hours is a big difference, I suppose. Because I know it was 8 hours before, right? And now it's 5 hours. So a um but yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say. Weekend's been good. It's Independence Day, but it doesn't feel like it because we haven't been able to do the usual things due to COVID. Yeah, I feel you on that. Holidays around this time now is not going to be, you know. Now you know how. Listen, hey, I appreciate it, but I can't help it. All right, I can only stream when I can stream. It's almost 7 p.m. here. Oh snap! Yeah, and Ender is. Don't hurt yourself in the process, Ender. Please take care of yourself first. Your health matters the most and comes, first and foremost. Okay. I'd rather you be safe and happy and healthy. I'm PST, so it's 8 a.m. here. Yep, yeah. Isn't no? It's 8:40, right? Because my computer clock hasn't changed yet, so it's still 8:40. I got you. I got you. uh, Man, it feels nice chatting with y'all again. I feel like it's been a long time since I've done a just chai stream. feel like it's been ages. It has been ages, hasn't it? I haven't had a chance to actually do the stream in a while, have I? Hmm. I think that's what I needed. I felt like so burned out because I was doing all these other streams that involved a lot more planning and interactivity and all the other things that come with it, and didn't really have chance to like just unwind and have that moment where you're just chatting with a friend and so forth. So it's nice. It's 9:40 a.m. where I'm at. I'm relaxing after helping a neighbor go to the store. Nice. So wait, so you're mountain time, right? That's mountain time, which is an hour difference because it goes since 4 days since I streamed. 4 days since I've streamed, yes, but it feels like it's been a couple weeks since I've been able to do a chai stream because Sundays has just been so goddamn hectic. Um, oh man, I'm in Idaho. Idaho. I don't know. My sense of geography is shit, and I half the time don't know where half the states are. So I know like pretty much West Coast, and then some of East Coast, and then I know Texas is in the middle somewhere. So take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. We know you're thinking about us all. God damn, why you guys make me all sentimental all the time? Y'all, thank you. I really appreciate it. Right next to Oregon. Yep, there we go. Okay. That's right. That's right. Oh, yeah. It's right there. It's like right across. I've never actually been to Idaho, though. I really want to. Is Idaho where Yellowstone is at? Or is that Nevada? Or is Nevada where Nevada's Las Vegas? So Idaho is Idaho, not Yellowstone, Yosemite is what I meant. Gotta share those emotional squishes around. Indeed. It's one of the big parks. Sorry, I'm just switching back and forth. It's one of the big parks, right? That's in Idaho, or is that Wyoming that I'm thinking about? I don't know. Something. Yellowstone is California. That's right. Yellowstone is California, and the Grand Canyon go through Idaho. Yeah. Okay. All right. Nice. Yeah, that's right. Oh wow, the Grand Canyon starts in Idaho and it goes into Arizona though, right? Because I know most of it is in, or at least a lot of it is in Arizona, because that's where I remember seeing it. I've only ever visited once. Oh man, that was a story to tell. uh, if you want, I can tell it, but essentially, how it. I went through Arizona because I was transferred. This was when I was still in the Navy, and I got transferred from Groton, Connecticut to San Diego, California. And so I decided I'm gonna drive that. And they gave me 9 days, and I used the entire 9 days because I took it slow to travel from coast to coast. And oh man, I loved it. Honestly, that was such a fun trip. Um, it was just by myself. I packed up. I had an old 1999 Toyota Corolla that I packed up to the brim with all my things, and literally I had no rooms, not even the passenger seat. It was just me and enough space for just me. And I just, left Groton and just took my time. I think so. The way I did it was I started at Groton, Connecticut, drove down along the East Coast until I hit Tennessee, maybe, and then I cut through pretty much the Bible Belt through Texas, through New Mexico, and then into through Arizona, New Mexico, and then finally into San Diego, California. And that was my first time ever cutting through a lot of those states, and first time ever doing such a long road trip. But when you do things like that, that's when you really see the beauty of any place, any country, because you get to see how it changes and how regions affect it, not just geographically, but by people, by customs, by the food, and as much as U.S. is homogenous, is also as much diverse. I feel like depending on where and what you look for. So that was a lot of fun. But anyways, so I did that trip, right? And I stopped in Arizona to stay with a friend so I can have a little break. And I was like, oh wait, I'm in Arizona. Why not just also go and see the Grand Canyon? It's nearby. So I remember when I first went in, I went straight there, right? And I think you start off. There's a town that's called like not Fort Knox. Is it Fort Knox? Not Fort Knox. There's a town that's near the Grand Canyon. It's like about a 45 to 50-minute drive from it, and you can take. I think it's Highway 110 that goes from that town, which is up on a mountain, right, on a mountaintop, and you drive down, and it winds down all the way until it gets down and then cuts through this vast open space until you hit the Grand Canyon. And what's so cool about it is you start at the mountains, so you see the mountain scenery with the forests and everything, and then it goes out and it opens up into a prairie. And oh god, that was gorgeous. This was like in March, but being Arizona, it was like still in the 80-degree like Fahrenheit temperature, which I don't know how that translates to Celsius, but it's fairly hot. And so when you cut through, it's like this vast open field of just golden grass as far as the eye can see. It was blue, like such a blue sky with just small puffs of white clouds in the distance. And then when you look out across the prairie, you see the mountains as the backdrop that are snow capped, right? And then in the middle of all of that, in the middle of this prairie, were a bunch of little farmhouses that were all colored differently. Like one had a red roof, the other was a blue roof, then you had a yellow and a green, and it was just this most picturesque scenery. And then following that, after you drive past that, then it becomes a red desert, like a red rock desert. And so like the sand and the dirt is all this really rusty red color with cacti and bushes, like dried bushes dispersed about it. And so it's such a weird, unique look. And then once you go past that, that's when you hit the Grand Canyon area, right? So it was such a scenic drive. And what had happened was, is your shirt covered in bees? No, not. That's not what happened. But ended up, I stopped where that prairie was. Right at that point, it was already like a 40-minute drive until then, and it was another like 40. So yeah, it was actually more than an hour. It was like an hour and a half from top all the way to the Grand Canyon. So at the halfway point, I stopped, and I was like, I want to take some pictures. So I got out, took some pictures, got back in, and I drove. And I made it from there. So like I said, it was another 45-minute drive, and I made it all... Oh, wearing right now. Nope, it is lemons? Honey? Not honey. It's like some kind of fruit. Because it's got little green leaves and... Is that a lemon? I think it's a lemon. I don't know. I just liked it. I bought it. Pineapple? No, it doesn't look like a pineapple to me. Like, that's a weird looking pineapple. If that's a pineapple. I don't think it's a pineapple. It's not a pineapple. But yeah, so I stopped. I got out, took pictures, and I drove all the way to the entrance of the Grand Canyon, right? And they're like, okay, it's $20 as an entrance fee. I'm like, okay, cool. I reach for my wallet, and then again reach for my wallet. I was like, uh-oh. Fuck? And I looked all around. I couldn't find my wallet, right? I'm like, oh shit. Wait, I had it at the top of when I left the town, and because I got gas before I left on this. So where's my wallet? Should be here. Where the... Oh. There was only one spot that I stopped. Shit. And mind you, that wallet had my driver's license, my military ID, my credit cards, and all my cash. So, and my debit card. So, I had no form of identification or money to pay for anything. So I'm like, shit, I need to go back. So I drove all the way back, 45 minutes, to that spot that I had stopped. And I get out and I look all over the place. Can't find it. I'm freaking out. Because mind you, at this point, I had 2 days to go before I had to be on and report to my ship, to my new station and to my ship. And when you report, you have to have your military ID to get onto the base and then to go and get onto your ship. Usually the way you get on a ship is you come to the bow and to the what's the entrance name again? To the ship deck. And And before you get on, you go, you turn, you salute to the flag, you turn, and you salute to whoever's on watch, and you show your military ID, and then you say your rank, name, and requesting permission to come aboard. And they say permission granted, and then you can go. If you don't have your military ID, well, forget even getting to that point. You can't even get on the base, but you won't be able to get on your ship. And if you don't get there on the time and the date that they tell you need to be there to report, that is AWOL, and that is punishable as being dereliction of duty. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, I have 2 days to go. Oh shit. Hey, thanks for the follow, Red Wolf. I'm like, oh shit. I don't have my wallet. I don't have my military ID, and I don't have money for gas even. Like shit. So I go book it back there. I'm looking all over the place. Can't find it, and I'm like, shit. All right, at least let me tell my old command and my new command that this has happened, right? So that they know and are aware, so that they don't freak out. And I called my old command. No, I didn't even call my old command. I just called my new one, and I'm like, hey, listen, I'm Petty Officer UPAD. I'm trying to come, I'm driving there I'm a new reportee, but I lost my wallet. This is what happened. And they're like, all right, we'll work it out. Just, are you safe? I'm like, yeah, I'm safe. So I'm sitting there in the parking lot near the area that I had stopped. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck I need to do. And suddenly I see my phone ring, right? And by the way, the title of the story is How I Was Briefly Dead or Deemed Dead / Missing. So I forgot to lead in with that. But this is the story about how people thought for a few hours I was actually dead. Because suddenly I got a phone call from one of my superiors from my previous base, Bracken Groton. I'm like, pick it up. I'm like, hey, Petty Officer, what's going on? He goes, hey, UPAD, are you okay? I'm like, yeah. He goes, oh, thank God. I'm like, that's an interesting way to, okay. And he goes, you are a fucking idiot. I'm like, what? He goes, did you lose your wallet recently? I'm like, yes. And he goes, all right, well, someone found it wherever you're at. Are you near the Grand Canyon? And I'm like, yes. I really buried the lead on that. Well, yeah, there you go. For like say, can you ever travel without effing? Nope. Not my style, I suppose. But anyways, he goes, well, someone found it, and apparently they reported it to the rangers, right? To the ranger station that's there. But apparently they never told them where they found the wallet. They just said they found the wallet. And being that they're at the entrance of the Grand Canyon, the rangers assumed that they'd found the wallet in the Grand Canyon, in the park. And they went and searched for me, right? At least he's consistent. What kind of image am I creating about myself? Anyways, I'm realizing now maybe it's not the smartest thing to tell y'all this story. Whatever, fuck it. Forgot I told that story. Anyways, well, they never told them where they found the wallet, so they assumed it was in the Grand Canyon, and they went looking for it, right? Looking for me. And because I hadn't reported or they couldn't find me, they literally assumed that I had fallen into the Grand Canyon, and they were about to start a search team for me to look for my body, essentially, because they're like, yeah, this probably is dead. This person's probably dead. And so that's what happened. But luckily, they had opened the wallet up and they found my previous command's contact card that had all of my chain of command on it and their contact information. And so they called him, and he was like, oh shit, really? Okay, let me try to see if I can get in touch with him. And he called me, and that's how all of that worked out. And then they were able to let them know that no, he's not dead. He's fine. He's searching for his wallet. He's back here. And so I had to go all the way back. And I finally, by the time, because I started this journey, like I was supposed to actually go to the Grand Canyon that morning to see, like around the afternoon time, right? And by the time I got my wallet, like found it and got my wallet back to me, was like 7 p.m., almost 8 p.m. And by this point, the sun had already set. and I didn't get a chance to see the Grand Canyon. I'm like, shit, I missed it. But you know, goes to show that sometimes things happen for a reason, and sometimes it ends up being better because I had missed seeing the Grand Canyon that day. What I ended up doing was I stayed overnight over there in the area, which was that sucked because holy shit is it expensive. Even the cheapest rooms are so damn expensive near the Grand Canyon. Fucking tourist trap, I swear. But I stayed and ended up going and waking up the next morning, and I got to see the sunrise at the Grand Canyon. And let me tell you, sunrise or sunset is the best time to see it. Okay, if you ever go visit the Grand Canyon, best time to see it is either sunrise or sunset, because the more warm glow from the sun hits all the canyon and hits those red rocks and the various layers that it has, and it just looks absolutely gorgeous, to be honest. He got scammed out of all of his money on not all of my money, but a lot of it. And asked for a massage, thinking it would be an actual massage. Not oh yeah. Well, thanks for putting that so succinctly. You got the gist of it. So so ended up seeing the Grand Canyon in a much better light, literally, because I missed it the day before. However, the cost of it was my sanity, my time, my gas, my money, and also a nice little cut on my hand, because what had happened was when I went to go to the ranger that I was missing my wallet and picking it up, right? They're like, we need another form of identification. I'm like, what, you need a what? Both my forms of identification are in my wallet. Like, I don't know how I can prove to you. Like, just look at my face. Just open the wallet. You'll see my face. They're like, we can't. We need another form of identification. I'm like, come on. And then I remember, I'm like, oh shit, I have my passport with me. Luckily, it's in my backpack somewhere. So I ran back and I reached into my backpack, and then that was when I realized, painfully, that I had thrown in at last minute my shaving kit in that same compartment, and reaching into it, my five blade razor cut across my entire hand from here to here, the palm, and I started bleeding out profusely. So imagine a skinny little KP with a buzz cut and a military cut, no beard, running around with his hand cut open into the ranger's office. And I remember her looking at me going, what the fuck did you do? I'm like, can I just please have my wallet, please? And I showed her my passport. She gave it to me. She goes, do you need a Band-Aid? I'm like, well, I mean, I might need several Band-Aids, but yes. And she gave me some Band-Aids, and I put on my Band-Aid. And that's how my little story, how I was presumed to be dead for a brief moment of time by the world. Yep, you are definitely creating an endearing yes, my fallacies, my faults. I am not perfect. I'm far from it. I have had my moments. Did I also ever tell you how I got scammed when I went to Paris? Because that's a different story. Oh boy, what am I doing to myself? Anyway, that one is not as crazy. I did get scammed, but it wasn't as epic sounding. But yeah, if you're learning from your mistakes at some point. But the thing is, they're different mistakes. I just make different mistakes each time. I learn from the previous one, and then I make a different mistake. And then, life's a learning lesson, all right? You can never come out, I've got to go get ready for the day, but I'm glad to see you're safe and sound. Oh, thank you, Harperson. I hope you have a wonderful day at work. Thank you so much for joining us today. I think I might end pretty soon just because it's 10:30 p.m. and I haven't had dinner yet. So also maybe it was a bad idea to have some coffee this late at night. Oh well, I needed it. I really needed it because I was just like, ew, zombie, gross. How are you allowed out of the house? listen. Okay, the way I view things is right. As long as I'm healthy by the end of it all, like bodily, I'm healthy and no permanent damage has happened to me, it's fine. It sucks at the time, but now I have stories to tell. And I feel that that's as important to me as anything else. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to go intentionally going out, fucking up all over the place just to have some sort of story to tell. That's not me. Shit just happens to me, all right? But now at least I can tell something, that's more interesting than, oh yeah, I got to go see, the Taj Mahal, or I got to go see this monument, or I went to this tourist attraction and did this. I actually now have a adventure to talk about, and ultimately, I think that's the important thing, whatever it is, right? And I think I don't want to ruin my experiences dwelling on the negativity and constantly thinking about it in that sense, and letting it ruin that trip for me. I'd rather it be like an interesting story to talk about, and usually what ends up happening is either I turn out to be a better person from it, or I get to meet interesting people because of it, and then tend to have fun conversations, interesting conversations, and new experiences out of it. So he will pursue. Oh, thank you for your faith in me. But yeah, I honestly think like those are part of your story. Those are part of your life experiences, and it's worth celebrating just as much as your failures are worth celebrating just as much as your successes, as long as A, you learn from it, and B, they don't cause any permanent damage. Like all through my trips, I lost some money, sure, but I can always make money in the future. I can always do something, and money will go, money will come. But am I still healthy? Am I still functioning? Can I continue with my life? Obviously, there are certain risks you shouldn't take because you can't come back from it. And that's when you go, shit. Well, this sucks. And even then, I think humans are so persistent and so they're so strong that even those sorts of experiences, you can, with the right mindset and the right support, you can get past and still thrive in the world, right? So until you're buried 6 feet underground, no matter what hits you, just, at least my philosophy is, no matter what hits me, I'm just gonna get back up. Whatever knocks me down, whatever. I'm down for a brief moment, and I'm gonna come back up. So that's how I guess, try to work through my life. And so these moments are just, fun little blips, fun little bumps along the way that I can talk about and tell people. Because otherwise, all I can say is, yeah, I went to Thailand. I got to see, a bunch of temples. I went on a little boat ride. I mean, those are all great, but, there's really not much more I can say about it. But now I have a story to tell people, and I think that's a lot more fun. Wow, I did not expect to go on all these tangents. But anyways, I think that's it for today. Wow, time just flew by, didn't it? I need to head out. I know that my family is also super tired and they probably want to sleep, and I'm doing this in my bedroom, so I should at least respect that. But here we are. I'm in India. Thank you all so much for joining me on our first official proper stream on the other side of the world, at least for my US friends. For my non-US friends who are on this side, hello, I'm in your neighborhood. But I'm so excited, and hopefully this shows that I can still stream and I can still interact and connect with all of you even while I'm here. So the scheduling might be a little bit different. I'm still trying to work through all of that, just because it's going to be hectic with everything happening. But what's going on? Oh, you need my phone. Oops. Thank you. But yeah, so oh, actually, before I go, I wanted to show you guys this. So this was the greeting card that we gave out to people. This is the wedding invitation. So this is the front. Right? This is the opening, right? And then here we are. So that's the cover, and then it's a lot of words. So this side is all in my language, Telugu. So those are the letters, and then this side is in my language or in English. But yeah, so that's the wedding invitation that we've been going around giving to people. Excuse me. And like I said, so the god that I was telling you about, Venkatesh, right? So this is him right here. So that's how he's depicted. Maybe you can see, maybe it shows his hands. I don't think it's showing it in here as well. I don't think you can see it. Actually, I think my hand there. That's his hand, and that's his hand. Maybe, I don't know. And that's his consort, his wife, or one of his consorts and wife. I think that's Bhudevi, the goddess of earth. But there you go. Yeah, that's the one. And then you have Lord Ganesha at the top. And pretty much any auspicious event, any big event that you're doing, you already always have a depiction of him at some point or throughout the whole thing, because he's the god of removing obstacles. So usually you pray to him. So say, hey, please, can you make sure that there's no, obstacles in our way that prevents this auspicious occasion from happening. So usually you almost always have him on your wedding invitations and throughout the wedding or throughout any functions that you do, just because, and like, if you're in a business, you typically have him and you pray for him as a business. So that way, you pray that nothing comes in the way of you being successful. But anyways, that was the wedding invitation. I really wanted to show all of you earlier, but I completely forgot. But okay, I think with that being said, this is a good time to end the stream. And thank you all so much for joining me today. I'm so happy that you were here, and hopefully this entire week is going to go smoothly and I get to continue to interact with all of you words throughout the week. All right. Well, bye everybody. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And for those of you here, I hope you have a great night. Okay? Good night. Bye. Remember, get enough rest. I will do my best. All right? Bye, y'all.